Trojan horse. All dragonflies and butterflies, yeah, all up in the air, keeping track of thoughts. I know we're not there, I know we're unclear. Hold on, hold on, hold on, don't hold on to bad nothings. You should go on without always believing that it's all gone, nothing you can do now. Just hold on, keep track on broken feelings. Hold on, hold on. My mind's unique with a weak holding cell, where thoughts can leak into the unending well. And tears will seldom disappear, will seldom disappear. I'm keeping track of thoughts I know are unclear, I know we're not there, yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on, don't hold on to bad nothings. You should go on without always believing that it's all gone, nothing you can do now. Just hold on, keep track on broken feelings. There's something inside me that hasn't come out. I'm losing control, I'm painted with doubt. It's not easy to see if you're not from the source, like burning down cities with the Trojan horse, a Trojan horse. Like burning down cities with the Trojan horse. Whoa, whoa. Like burning down cities with the Trojan horse. Hold on, hold on, hold on, don't hold on to bad nothings. You should go on without always believing that it's all gone, nothing you can do now. Just hold on, keep track on broken feelings. Is it true? Is it true to not look like luster and improve what you have to offer? The world is new, no matter what said. Choose you to become even better. Yeah, just be better. Yeah, yeah. My inspiration comes straight from the source, like burning down cities with a Trojan horse. All dragonflies and butterflies, yeah, all up in the air, keeping track of thoughts. I know we're not there, I know we're unclear. Hold on, hold on, hold on, don't hold on to bad nothings. You should go on without always believing that it's all gone, nothing you can do now. Just hold on, keep track on broken feelings. Hold on, hold on. My mind's unique with a weak holding cell, where thoughts can leak into the unending well. And tears will seldom disappear, will seldom disappear. I'm keeping track of thoughts I know are unclear, I know we're not there, yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on, don't hold on to bad nothings. You should go on without always believing that it's all gone, nothing you can do now. Just hold on, keep track on broken feelings. There's something inside me that hasn't come out. I'm losing control, I'm painted with doubt. It's not easy to see if you're not from the source, like burning down cities with the Trojan horse, a Trojan horse. Like burning with the Trojan horse. Whoa, whoa, like burning down cities with the Trojan horse.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the zoo. I'm the Rusty Panda, and I am here for you. Today we got Six Psycho in the house. Womp womp womp
Yo,
womp.
what's up?
How y'all doing today? Hopefully y'all are doing great. Sorry to interrupt your musical experience. I just like to cut that song a little short, just because it's been about 5 minutes, and I don't like to go over 5 minutes of you guys waiting. But if you like that song, contact me. We'll talk about it. Um, okay, so yeah, it's Wiki Wednesday. I'm sorry it's been a while. September, October is just crazy. Um, and so we got to stick another one in, giggity, and here we are with Six Psycho. And I am so very happy that we're able to do this. Let's start out by I usually ask this question. It's just a fun question to get everything started. But what made you come up with your name? It's always fun to come up with the what comes with the usernames, and I'm just curious how you came up with yours.
So, Sick Psycho came from, for one, Sick by itself is from Slipknot, their song Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a huge Slipknot fan forever, and that right there was like, okay, sick. I like that. And then Psycho, the misspelled version was because of a friend of me in freshman year of high school. He was telling me about the group Twisted and how it wasn't spelled, Twisted. It was, I can't even remember how they spell it anymore, but it was spelled with a Z instead, I think is what it is. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, misspell Psycho, and it ended up being PSYCKO, and it's been my gamer tag for years.
And then the 696 was just for funsies, because I see 69 in there, so I'm curious.
So the 696 is 666,
Okay.
but with some games 666 isn't allowed because it's uh inappropriate, I guess. It can be offensive or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw the 9 in there to throw that off.
That's a good idea. That's a good
It
idea.
just something to throw it off, and people also get the 69 out of it.
Right? That's perfect. That's
It makes
perfect.
everything perfect.
I agree. Um, all right, so let me pull up your list because I didn't put it in notes, but we can start with what I put down, which is deathcore. So this was an interesting one to me. I'm not familiar too much with deathcore. So I'm curious as far as what you know about it and why it's on the list.
So I so growing up I started listening with Linkin Park, Korn, Disturbed, the very new metal scene. And when you go from new metal, I don't know how it happened. Honestly, I think it was watching Headbangers Ball in the later years of when before Headbangers Ball had actually canceled. I used to get up every morning at like 3 a.m. in the morning just to be able to catch the episode of Headbangers Ball on MTV2, and also had it set to DVR record so I can listen to it when I got home as well. Um, but deathcore became a thing with Headbangers Ball when I first heard Lamb of God and Suicide Silence on Headbangers Ball. I think the first, and then hearing also Slayer and stuff like that. I just like really grew into the concept of it. It's a very brutal, is a really good way of putting it. Heavy guitar riffs, very down tuned, very fast drums, very fast guitar work, and vocals comparing through gutturals, through fry, false chord, and there's just a lot of other different terminologies for all the vocals they do in deathcore. It's unreal. But and then also I sat there and I seen Whitechapel, and it's kind of funny. Whitechapel, I've followed since their first album as well, and they're just a huge impact on what I listen to today.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that you just said a lot of really big key words of music that I didn't think you were going to say, where you were like down tuned and, fry. And I was just like, oh, okay. He knows his music very well. Okay, let's do this. So,
I've been playing guitar for since I was 12. And in high school, I was also a part of the marching band. I did a lot of live sound with the school and things like that. So I know a little bit, enough to get me by, but I'm no expert on any of it.
no, you sound like you at least understand the key concepts, especially if you know guitar since you were 12. You clearly know something.
I know a little bit.
You know something. I'm going to give you all the credit. Here, credit. Credit. All right, so yeah, down tuned guitars, um, growled vocals, and defined by breakdowns and death metal riffs, metalcore riffs, um, fusion genres, down tune their guitars to give their music a heavier sound. Deathcore bands may also employ guitar solos as well.
Yeah.
Shrieked screams are common types of vocals. So, are they, because it's deathcore, is it metal or is it,
It
yeah,
is it's a subgenre of death metal. So death metal would be more just fast paced, more rhythmic than what deathcore would be in a sense.
mm-hmm.
With deathcore, they swap speeds a lot. You can go from up to who was it? I think it's Infant Annihilator. They go up to like 380 beats per minute, and then they'll drop it down to 180, and then back up to 380. And
Wow.
the drummer of Infant Annihilator is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I was looking at predecessors of the 1990s. So clearly this started not too long ago, or by my standards, not too long ago, even though
Oh
this
yeah, I
was
mean,
30 years ago. But
that
this is not
we're
too
not gonna
long
bring that
ago.
up, okay?
This is still not too long ago. Um, but deathcore was a word established in New York.
I did
So,
not know that.
yeah, outside the New York, there
Huh.
also existed early examples as German death grind bands. Named deathcore existed in the 1980s, and other German death grind bands banned Blood.
I
So
haven't heard of Blood before.
1996, that deathcore eventually began gaining traction. Described musical style. Um, Publicized were going to settle on the term deathcore to describe like Earth Crisis and Embrace the Eternal. 18
Embodiment.
Visions. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I assume that these are all like the.
These are the Godfathers.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
18 Visions is a really big one that's still listened to a lot today. Suffocation is another. Oh God, excuse me. Um, 18 Visions and Suffocation are very big. Suffocation was really good. I wasn't a big listener of 18 Visions myself. I barely listened to Suffocation. It wasn't just it was there, but it wasn't there for me. Like I'll go back today and go back and listen to it. But when I first started getting into the music, it wasn't there.
yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, I like the evolution of music, and I like that we can create music and create sound. I think of what indie has become in the
Oh yeah.
last 30 years, and what it, what I can't say we, but as an indie genre, what it's become. And that's what it sounds like here is what deathcore has become, and it's awesome to have that
Oh
new
yeah,
genre. So I think
and
that's
I
great.
mean, and I mean, it's as you've seen there, the criticisms of it or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
very deathcore really got wrapped up in the whole Columbine, the all metal makes kids Satanists, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very big into it. It's and that right there where it says in 2013 where it the term deathcore is usually seen as a dirty word in metal circles because in death metal, thrash metal, and things like that, it wasn't really looked good upon. It for some reason it was like, oh, you're one of them deathcore kids. You only like open notes, and it was like, there's other bands that don't just use open notes, right?
Right. 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 In contract, we're not one of those bands trying to escape the banner of deathcore.
Ah,
Hmm.
Carnifex.
Yeah, are they good or bad to you?
Oh, very very good.
Okay.
I've seen Carnifex live. Whew, a lot. I really can't tell you how many times. I know I've seen them at least 10 times in 1 year. I
Damn.
they were on a when they released why can I not remember the name of this? It's something to do with hope. I can't remember.
Let's
Die
see.
without. I think it's die without hope.
Dead in my arms, a disease and poison. Hell chose me. Return from. Oh no, I'm looking at not their discography. Dead in my arms. Hell chose me. Die without hope. Yep.
Yeah, die without hope. When they released die without hope, they went on a huge touring spree. Like I swear they had 10 tours that year for just die without hope because it was a huge record for them.
Yeah.
And easily sat there and watched it. Every time they came to town, I was there.
That's
It
great.
it got so bad with seeing Carnifex live that the merch lady would just come see me and be like, "Okay, what do you want this time?"
That's great. I love that. That's great. And hey, Infozar, welcome on in.
Jack, what's up?
But yeah, peak chart positions. That's really cool. I mean, you could see it across the board as you know,
Oh
rock,
yeah, I
hard
mean,
rock, all that stuff. Um, sweet, 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 sweet. I learned something today. I also like looking at these charts about the bands and who turned into who, as far as like
oh
how
yeah.
long the person stayed in the band. And
Scott's been there the whole time.
mm-hmm,
Sean, if I'm right, has been there the entire time. I know. I don't think Fred's been there the whole time, and I know Neil Tiemann and Corey. Corey has been on and off, if I'm right.
mm-hmm.
Corey's really cool. He used to stream on Twitch,
Oh, really cool.
and if nobody else knows, Scott is also a comic book artist.
Oh, the more you know.
So
That's
I
really
hate Jordan
interesting.
left because Jordan was an amazing guitar player. He really brought a really nice atmospheric solos to their songs, and it really kind of brought the whole eerie vibe they have to it. But
Right.
I, I understand why he left.
It's just like it's interesting to me because you have the two main guys really that you're looking at, Sean and Scott, right?
Yeah,
And I was thinking about this with Kansas. I went to a Kansas concert, and there was one guy
nice.
from the original Kansas band. And does that make a Kansas band? And so, yes, it does. For me, that's
Yeah.
Kansas. Like, for me, that's Kansas. But for others, like, you look at the chart and you're like, okay, all these people fall off, all these people come in. At what point do you call it no longer Kansas?
So, and I have a band in deathcore that resembles that.
Ooh, tell me.
It's Chelsea Grin.
Okay.
If you go back to the deathcore, they were one of the bands in that. With Chelsea Grin, commonly named after the Glasgow Glen out of Glasgow, Scotland. Um, with Chelsea Grin, the original members, I don't think any of the original members are actually in the band anymore.
Weird. Let me see if they have a chart. They do have a chart. Okay. So,
And if there is any original members, I'll actually be really surprised.
it doesn't look like there is.
Because I know it was in, I think it was after the EP Evolve, the drummer left and the new drummer Pablo came in. Pablo just left the band, if I'm right.
The only
I don't,
person that's close is David Flynn, the
and
bass player, and he just started in 2009, 2010, and he's been there since then. But all the other people,
well,
2013 is one carried on, but then other than that, everybody else is new. 2017, 2019.
I actually think Alex left earlier than 2018, if I'm right, because Alex had a some issues he had to deal with, and he has dealt with them. He is doing absolutely phenomenal and is coming back to the music world, and I'm hella excited for that.
Oh, nice.
But I know Tom left. Lorna Shore came over into Chelsea Grin, and that's when Will Stamos took over from Lorna Shore, and they've blown up. Jason was there for a very short time. He did Evolve and Ashes to Ashes with them.
You are very impressive, sir.
I these another band. This Chelsea Grin was the first band I seen live by myself outside of high school.
Got it.
It was the one that I didn't have to have my parents come with me to go see them or anything like that. It was I got concert tickets. I went to the show, and it was for the Sick tour of 2012 or 13. I
Okay.
went. It was me and like four other friends all loaded up and just took off to Atlanta to go see them live.
That's great. Wow.
Like there is a video on YouTube, and there's a pan. It pans over, and you actually see my face for like a frame of that video of when they were playing in Atlanta for the Sick tour that year. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, that's me."
Right. You hold on to that frame. You take a screenshot and you put that somewhere.
Yep, that's held dear a lot.
All right. So with deathcore and all of that, we have certain bands, but then you also mention bands like Korn, which is not deathcore as far as I'm concerned. Is that correct?
And by no means are they deathcore. They
Okay, cool.
are
I'm learning things. New
Korn
metal.
would be the new metal scene, and
Okay.
new metal started with it was a fusion of the metal guitar sounds, drums, and things like that, and then fusing it with rap beats, the rhythmic uh, sequences of how you would do lyrics. What would you call them? What do rappers call them? Not bars, but
Beats?
nah, the I can't remember the damn name for it. uh, like when a rapper would do a whole section of lyrics on a beat, there's an actual phrase for it, and I can't remember the name of it. But
Oh. Um
pretty much when they would lay down a verse on something, and it had to follow a, isn't it a stanza
I was going to
that it
say
would follow?
stanza, but I didn't know if that was too.
Because it isn't it a stanza where you would put it at a your words at a rhythmic pace to
Yeah.
follow. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
um, the vocalist of people like Korn, Deftones, God, there's so many more. Linkin Park,
Yeah.
all of them, they would follow that stanza almost. They would continue on with it to keep that flow with it.
Okay. So why corn on the list? Why did they make it on the list?
So Corn, I just got so many memories with Corn. Corn was my very first actual concert in 2008. It was, yeah, Family Values tour of 2008. That was actual Corn's tour that they created, and the purpose behind creating this tour was to bring together more artists that were coming up at the time. The year that I went was 10 Years, Flyleaf, Deftones, Bury Your Dead.
I haven't heard Flyleaf in forever.
Do you know they're actually back together now with Lacey?
Wow. Wow.
Yep, Lacey came back after she had her little off brand of all her own personal stuff, which if never listened to was actually really good.
Yeah.
Um, Deftones, Corn. Who else was on on that lineup? Was it really all that was there? There was a few opening bands. Because Bury Your Dead was in a local band out of Atlanta at the time, and then they sat there and changed their location, like they're not the ones that came out of Atlanta. I don't understand that, but that was my very first show, and I mean that was my upbringing into always enjoying going to shows. Um, with that show, it was me, my dad, my uncle, my cousin, a few of my uncle's friends, which I don't really remember. But I remember getting up that morning. We came to Atlanta. They tailgated before we went in. I think at this time, I think I'm 13 or 14. And we go inside, and when we go inside, we're sitting on the lawn. So, like, it's an amphitheater, of course. So, you have the seating all down up front, and then you have a big ass lawn behind you. And with the lawn, we were for Flyleaf and 10 Years, which I didn't know 10 Years at the time. I knew one song, which, of course, everybody knew Wasteland. And I heard it, and I didn't know there was a band playing. I thought it was just music playing over while bands were changing
Right.
because nobody was paying attention to them.
Aw.
Which, like, realizing it now, it's like, what?
Opening band stuff is hard.
It's so hard. And the thing is Wastelands was such a huge song at the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was being played all over the radio, and like nobody knew it was them. Then we were like closer to the stage for Flyleaf in 10 Years. Then Deftones came on. I didn't know a lot of Deftones at the time. I'd heard like probably My Own Summer at the time. I didn't become a big Deftones fan until later in life, to where I could more of appreciate what they were writing and how they were writing it. Is when I started becoming fans of them. But prior to that, I didn't know a lot about them.
Okay.
And Corn, I knew every lyric to almost every album they had out at the time, except for the newest one, which would have been "See You on the Other Side." "See You on the Other Side" was the tour that year for that album, and watching them live that year, I still remember it as vivid today. They were tuning guitars, and every person in the crowd went nuts. They haven't even showed the stage yet. The stage hasn't been shown. There's no lights on. All you heard was ping. Everybody went nuts. I was like, okay. And they opened up with Blind, and with Blind, I watched, I'd have to say, 10,000 people
Wow.
go from like standing still to where it looked like I was standing in an ocean.
Wow.
of everybody jumping around. And Korn's lyrics, sit deep with me. There was a lot of things that I went through personally with schools and things like that. One of my favorite songs from Korn is still the song "Thoughtless" off of. I want to say it's off Issues, but it could be "Follow the Leader." I always get the two mixed up. The song's talking about being bullied and stuff like that. I was bullied through middle school, elementary school, and things like that. So being able to have that connection with them while I was going through that at the age that I was,
Right.
seeing them live, they will always hold a very special place in my heart.
Aww. Yeah, when you have those formative years and you have a band that you can hold on to and really it really speaks to you and can really get you through. I think that's amazing. So I'm happy that you had something like that at least to hold on to.
Oh yeah, and Korn was that band because like it's funny because it talks about being bullied and thoughtless, and then it goes to like the bridge slash like breakdowny area, and it goes into like because the way Jonathan adds like isn't it ska where you kind of add like a beatboxing element into it, if I'm right. It's a weird beatboxing, but he's not beatboxing at the same time. It's weird.
Okay.
But it goes into that like small spot right there, but what he's getting across to right in that moment and what he's singing is that like I'm going to hurt all of you, and that's what's going on in Jonathan's mind, is that I'm going to hurt everyone that's hurting me.
Mhm.
And it was just like a moment of like, I feel this because I want to do this, but I'm not going to do this.
Right. Right. Yeah, like I said, that's amazing that you have that cuz not everybody gets to get that. Music is in my opinion, music is a release, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And some people just don't music. Some people don't video games. Some people don't horse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some
Oh
people
yeah,
don't
like
have their
they
own.
don't have that release.
Right, they just don't have their what makes them happy, and what makes their has their release, and yeah, I think that music is definitely a great outlet, and I'm glad that you had corn for that. That's really good.
Oh yeah.
Um, so tell me now, the were you listening to their older stuff when you went to your first concert with them? Because they weren't new when you went there, right?
Oh, by no means were they new. They've been around since I want to say 95 or 96.
Yeah, 1989 to
Um
1993.
okay. So that was with LAPD.
Okay,
With
Corn Baby began record their debut album in 1994 to 96. You were correct.
yeah, so yeah, I was listening to the first album, fuck, I don't, as long as I can remember. I mean, the hell, I can almost remember the track list. Almost. I not perfectly, but pretty close. There's a lot of derogatory song titles that I can't say, but
Right, right.
um, off the first album, favorite songs would be "Blind," "Shoots and Light." No, "Shoots and Ladders" is "Shoots and Ladders" on the first album? No, no, "Clown," "Clown." Uh,
What are you looking at? Corn, the first album?
yeah, first album. It'd be like their self-titled album, even though they say they have a self-titled, but it's just named self-titled. Um, oh no, Shoots and Ladders is on there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember if it was or wasn't. So Shoots and Ladders is actually a really funny one to do, is because with Shoots and Ladders, it's only nursery rhymes.
Oh.
the entire lyrics of the whole song are nursery rhymes. It is a phenomenal song. Jonathan Davis does bagpipes on it for the intro. Seeing that live will bring chills to you every time because he brings the bagpipes on stage and plays bagpipes on stage to this song, and it is insane.
That's crazy.
But yeah, the whole song is nothing but nursery rhymes. It shoots and ladders, knick knack paddywhack, Mary had a little lamb, 1 2 buckle my shoe, and London Bridges, and Ring Around the Rosies.
Interesting.
But yeah, very fun, very fun song to listen to. It'd be one I could definitely listen to in the morning and just be like, yeah, we're gonna get the day done.
Right. Right.
Most of the original members are still actually in the band.
Yeah, I think
The only
that's why they said up to 2004, like nothing changes. I think that's why they didn't even put any
Oh
lines.
yeah. So David. So I know Brian left because he had addiction problems, which he's back in the band now, fully clean, changed man. Little too
Oh, these are
religious for me.
touring. Well, that's why. That's why we're confused. Official band members. Okay.
Uh, the only person that's not one that's been around since the beginning is David Severa, the drummer, and that's because David is kind of an asshole.
Right. So now Ray is there.
Yeah, and Ray's actually a phenomenal drummer. The only time Ray didn't drum would be on the self-titled album. They had on the self-titled album they had I can't remember his name. He's a famous drummer. His drum kit takes
David Silveria.
no, it'd be somebody else. I can't remember his name.
Hmm.
Is there a way to scroll up for?
They basically
Is there?
said that as far as drums is concerned, David Silveria is the one who did the 94 to 2006, and then Ray is the one who did 2008 to 2023.
Okay. Well, I know on the studio album for self-titled, somebody else did them. I can't remember his name though.
Yeah. Four
Uh,
members. Drums, Ray. Guitar, percussion. Joey Jordanson. Drums, Morgan Rose.
that's what. These are all the touring ones. They don't actually have who did it
Hmm.
for self-titled. The self-titled, I know that it was somebody else because I still have the DVD for when they recorded the album. Of the whole behind the scenes because they were talking about this dude's drum set they had come in and drum for the album. This dude's drum set came in on a semi trailer,
Oh boy.
and it took them, I think they said 38 hours to build his drum set to like exactly the way he needed it to play. It's
Wow.
he had so many different combinations of sounds and
Yeah.
it's still crazy to go back and listen to that album and listen to all the different sounds he used to just make that album full.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's sweet. That's corn, ladies and gentlemen.
Corn
Um,
is awesome.
what on your list, hard turn, is Casey?
Casey is a band out of Wales, London. Um, I think they should have a
Yeah, here we go.
yes, Casey band. This band is very near and dear to my heart, and I will love them to the day that I die.
All right, let's see. So formation 2014.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Hardcore punk. Tell me about it. What do you got?
So I wouldn't say hardcore punk. I would definitely say more of a melodic hardcore band in general, and just a hardcore band.
Okay.
They don't have the. I don't see that they have more of a punk influence. I see just more the hardcore scene into them, and it's really weird for me to say that because a lot of people don't see that there's a difference between the two.
Mhm.
But there's definitely a difference between the two. Punk has more. When I hear punk, I think pop punk, which more uppity beats, more I don't know, it's more catchy in a way. With Casey, they're more on the hardcore side where it's not so much down tuned, but it's a little fast paced, but at the same time not. It's weird to explain, but Casey themselves, very melodic. Toby does an amazing job on guitar work. He very much brings a atmospheric, dreamscape guitar sound to it.
Hmm.
Um, have you listened to Deftones before? How they have that like dreamscape sound in the background?
I believe so.
Um, that's kind of what Toby brings in element wise,
Okay.
and it's one of he was gonna do his own side project while Casey was on hiatus, or broken up, whichever one you want to say, because they said they weren't gonna be together again, and then they recently have come back together.
They
They're
kind of
writing a new
skipped
album.
over the pandemic is what it looks like. They stopped in 2019 and then restarted in 2022.
I actually stopped in 2018 because that's when I went and seen their farewell show.
Oh, okay,
Go-
2018.
it was May 18th of 2018, if I'm right, that they did the farewell show in Chicago, and that was the last show they played, and
Nice.
called it off after that because I drove 11 and a half hours to go see them live to make sure I didn't miss that show because it was their very first show in America.
Oh, wow. So very
And
short, very first, very last show in America.
they actually just got done with a small little tour here.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have a chance to go see them. I've been slammed with work, and I was like, well, I did see them that one time. I'm okay.
Right, right.
But
Okay.
so with Casey, they touch a lot on depression, mental illnesses in general. They also touch on medical issues and like actual medical conditions because Tom, the vocalist, he suffers a lot from actual medical conditions, and he talks about what he has to go through sometimes on the albums and songs of being stuck in hospital beds, how he always feels like he's a burden, things of that nature, and really writes. It's hard to really explain. You can feel everything he says.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much emotion that he puts into it and gives life to it. You feel it, and it brings me to tears listening to them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not afraid to say that.
Aw. Yeah, they sound good from what you're telling me. It definitely hits home in a few different ways. So,
And I am beyond excited to hear that they're writing a new album. I've already messaged them and told them, I said I'm going to cry.
aw. Included topics bipolar disorder, ulcerative colitis, and osteogenesis imperfecta, as well as survived a heart attack, stroke, and car crash.
Yeah, Tom's been through a little bit. Tom's been through a lot. Love is not enough is more on the breakup side of things,
Yeah, the
and
BBC said their music is at one point or is as atmospheric as explosions in the sky. Do you know who Explosions in the Sky is?
I do not.
They are very as atmospheric. And basically you can listen to their music, chill out, and just vibe.
Okay.
They usually don't have any vocals.
Ooh.
It is just
Ooh.
vibe music.
I will definitely check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. They're really good. But yeah, one moment as atmospheric as Explosions in the Sky, the next is fierce and intense as the Deftones back catalog. So I'll definitely check out Casey. I definitely think that this is a band I would like.
And the really cool thing about them, and for me, the reason they mean so much to me is I went through right when they released the Haze EP, the Fade EP, Haze EP, whichever one you want to call it. It's pretty much the same EP. Haze only had, I think Haze had Darling and Teeth on it as demos. The Fade EP came out with Hell is Loving You, or Hell,
Mm-hmm.
Teeth, and Fade.
Okay.
But with Teeth, it's talking about not being able to move past a relationship and things like that. Your name has been stitched into my teeth is one of the lyrics in it, and it touched on a lot of things because I was drinking a lot when I found Casey, and I was beyond plastered most of the time, and I would sit in my bed and cry to them and go through my breakup processes of the most unhealthy things I can think of
Right.
and listen to this band. And then Love Is Not Enough came out. I'd not completely quit drinking, but I was still drinking. There'd be every now and then I'd go get blackout drunk and then come back. And this album came out. And with that album, huh, it went through the anger, it went through the depression, it went through almost every phase of a breakup you can think of. Like, why are you doing this to me? I miss you, but why are you doing this to me?
Right.
And
Wow.
then where I go when I'm sleeping, I had actually quit drinking by that time. I cleaned up my act. I have a drink here and there, but when where I go, when I'm sleeping came out, it was touching more on the mental health issues and no longer about. There was like two songs in the album that touched on relationships, but other than that, it was more based off of mental health and actual physical health of what Tom was going through.
Right.
And then now in the year of 2023, they have released a new song. They've released three new songs, but Great Grief was huge for me because it sat there and said, "Don't I deserve to be happy too?"
Aw, I like
So it's like
that.
it's a whole. We're coming back around to happiness. We are
Yeah.
talking on happiness now.
That's great. Oh, I just love that music can do that, and I love that you found so much music that can do that for you. This is just so good for me to hear, for you, and just for the audience to hear about this as well. This is great stuff.
And like the one more about Casey, when I went and seen him in 2018, like this is how much they help people, and it's just this first part of this concert. We go in and they played the last song off Love Is Not Enough, which is Morning, Mourning, actually like mourning somebody. The whole song is, very, uh, what do you want to call it? It's an emotional song, everything like that. But at the very end of the song, there's like a spoken word spot
Mhm.
of it. And in the spoken word section, like they played the whole song, and in that spoken word section, there's no music. It's just Tom finishing out the song with this spoken word spot. And it stops the music. They're getting ready to play their next song, and the entire crowd finishes the song all the way through. We all screamed that last bit of that song,
Aw,
and it brought Tom to tears, which brought us to tears, and it was like,
Aww.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Right, right. Aww. Those connections are so important too. I'm sure the band appreciates that a great deal, having those connections with your audiences.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your fans is just everything that you could possibly want. You do it less for the money and the fame, and you do it more for your
So
fans.
one of their one thing, and they said they swear to stick by it, is that it's not about the money. It's not about any of that. Their music is a labor of love, and the second they feel like they can't put in what they were putting in before, they will not make it. That their entire concept is music is a labor of love, and if we can't put the love that we need to into our music, we won't do it. And
Mm.
I respect that so much because so many people sit there and more try to keep pushing to get our next hit song out. Let's get our next record out. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. If we don't feel it in our chest, we're not releasing it.
Right. Yeah. I get that. I do. Damn. These are good answers. Good answers. Let's talk about dubstep.
Oh God, dubstep.
Yeah, let's talk about dubstep.
Oh, the bass.
It reminds me of the Key and Peele. I don't know if you've ever seen the Key and Peele episode. Um,
I
where it's,
think I have.
where one of them, and she's like, "Man, I'm introducing you to dubstep," and he's like, "Why do I feel this way?" He's like, "Just let it happen." And he's like, "Why is my nose bleeding?" He's like, "It's part of its charm." And
I do remember it.
yeah, oh my god, it just gets progressively worse, and they're just like throwing CDs across the room and stuff like that. Oh my god, it's so great.
Oh, it's so great.
But
Oh
dubstep,
man.
why is it on your list?
So I'm very the only genre of music I don't like is country music.
Mm-hmm.
um Back in high school I was introduced to Skrillex and Bass Nectar. With Skrillex and Bass Nectar, I got introduced to him in band class and I made a lot of friends off of it. I've actually never been to a rave. I've never been to a festival or anything like that, but it's always been there's something weird with the way they do things that makes my mind tickle. And it's just like, why is this good? Why do robot noises make me happy?
Right, right.
But it's been a very big part of just my musical creativity. Thinking of like, okay, well, this isn't sounding right metal wise or rock wise or something like that. Let's think of it in this form of dubstep or something of how would you build it up to get to that point and make it work. And it's just been always a huge part since high school. And um, there's so many artists in it that I've listened to since the early stages of UKF, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because they're actually, I think if I'm right, they're a label. I can't remember if they're actually a label. I think when they started the YouTube channel, it wasn't a label. It was one of those channels that people just came to find dubstep.
Okay.
And then it just ended up being so big that voila, now UKF is a label.
So, okay. So what it is Skrillex like the main thing, like the granddaddy of all dubstep, or
No, dubstep goes way back before Skrillex was around. I know Dr. P was around before Skrillex. 12th Planet was around before Skrillex. So, like, it's a weird thing with me when I find music, I go back further and, like, okay, they sound good, but where did they come from? Like, what were their influences? And then go back to them, and then go back. Okay, y'all sound amazing. Let's go back further and let's find out what you did to grow to where you are. And
Right.
that's it goes way back. I don't know 100% a lot about dubstep and its origins. I will be completely honest about that, but
So it said the origins of the genre can be traced back to the growth of the Jamaican sound system party scene in the early 1980s.
oof, that's back there.
Yeah, it's generally characterized with the use of syncopated rhythm patterns with prominent bass lines and dark tone. This underground sound and other strains of garage music began to be showcased and promoted at London's nightclub Plastic People at the Forward Night and on pirate radio station Rinse FM, which went to be considered influential in developing dubstep. Cool.
I believe it. And the cool thing about dubstep, I mean, is to me, it's the sound they get, which it's changed so much since when was I a freshman? I graduated 13. So, 2009. We'll go with that. I don't know years.
When am I?
I know I was born in 94 and that's
Oh
about
my
it.
god.
But no, back then Skrillex was very big in it. It was when Skrillex had just released Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. And I listened to that EP a lot, but then I found Flux Pavilion, Dr. P, uh ooh, so many others. But the sound has changed so much. Inky, leave me alone. You ain't old. But like there were so many others before that 12th planet. Skrillex, and it's really weird that Skrillex, Sony Moore, came out of from first to last, if I'm right.
Okay.
And he came actually out of the like metal scene because from first to last was like a pop punk ish kind of band, and but then at the same time it was not. They had their moments where they were like very pop punk like, and then they went like a hardcore sound, and then they couldn't make up their mind what they wanted to do. But Sony left that and became Skrillex.
Wait, can we just stop for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Skrillex in 2017 on the right. Got
Mm-hmm.
it? This Sonny John Moore. And
Mm-hmm.
then on the left is also Sonny John Moore, correct? It was in first to last?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is wearing the same shirt
Shirt and
jeans.
pants.
So um is it Skrillex or is it first to last?
It's actually both pictures are taken, if I'm right, from the same show.
Yeah, it has to be the same show, but is it first to last or is it Skrillex show?
That has to be a from first to last show. Has to be.
That's so funny. Okay, I didn't mean to pause you there, but that
No,
was
that is actually a
crazy.
great question.
That was crazy. Okay,
But yeah,
so go ahead.
Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites actually set off a lot of other dubstep artists because Skrillex came in with a new sound. It wasn't the normal dubstep sound, which was really cool because a lot of people are kind of still following like the drum and bass patterns, and Skrillex didn't do that. He kind of took the rhythm of the post-hardcore sound and stuff like that and added it into it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of mixed the two together and made the sound he had, to which a lot of people were like, hey, wait a minute, hold up, well, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And it set off a lot of things for dubstep when that came out. I won't say is he a pioneer of it. No. Is he big influential part of it, yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I was looking at in 2011, the BBC announced that he had been nominated for their Sound of 2012 poll. The same month, he was also nominated MTV's Electronic Dance Music Artist of the Year.
Like he
So, won 8 Grammy Awards, more than any other electronic dance music artist. That's crazy.
he is, and I mean, he's still releasing good music, and it's the craziest thing. And like, I think after he blew up, when he got like movie spots, and I don't think he's done an actual movie score, but he has been around a lot of things, and it's really cool to see that he did it and has done what he's done over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, so, okay, sorry, we got on a tangent.
Oh, you're good.
So, so, so. So, w- you got into dubstep because of a guy in band class,
Yeah,
and
friends and band.
right, and you fell in love with it, or you at least liked it enough to go through it enough that you learned enough about Skrillex. I mean, so you
Oh
clearly
yeah.
know enough about the people who are in that genre. Um, so is there anything else specifically about dubstep that you feel is in, oh my god, bro step in American
Bro,
development? What the
bro,
hell?
it's a very big new thing, and it's weird.
With the American producer Skrillex becoming something of a poster boy for the scene.
Um, it bro step's weird. Um, the way I look at it, you know those douchebags you had in high school and things like that thought they were better than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's kind of becoming now. In my
Yeah.
eyes, it's not. So in, like the EDM family, it's all about peace, love, happiness, and
Yeah.
loving each other. It's not really that in bro step, in my opinion. It's kind of leaving that, leading away from that, and kind of becoming that frat party that nobody really wanted to go to.
Yep. The term bro step has been used by some of the pejorative descriptor or style of popular Americanized dubstep. The producer, known as Rusko himself, claims in an interview that bro step is sort of his fault, but now I've started to hate it in a way. It's like someone screaming in your face, you don't want that.
Yeah, like
That's
it's
crazy.
become that douchebag feel, and it's kind of sad. Um, Truly, rhythm is actually more present now than it has been since before.
Yeah.
Uh, Rhythm is more of Excision style. That's another artist, Excision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Excision does more of the rhythm side of things. It's a weird one. It doesn't follow. It's a dubstep sound, but there's more random sounds in it that it's really weird. They have more like alien sounds, like really high pitched alien squeals and stuff like that in it. Kind of it's just a weird genre of
Okay.
subgenre of dubstep.
Is it like when they have those like hamster talks and they're like the hamster talking ones always freak me out.
Yes, stuff like that. It's out there. I'm not a huge fan of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to listen to for like
A song
15
at a
eh,
club.
like maybe 15 minutes of
Mm-hmm.
it. Like you can get through 3 or 4 songs. It's like, all right, yeah, this is nice, and it's like, okay, this is getting really repetitive, and
Right, right.
I don't want to keep hearing this.
Hey, Fat Panda, hello, welcome on in. Um, okay, so we've latched on to dubstep, we've latched on to corn, we've latched on to deathcore, right? This one.
Yeah, we did deathcore and we did Casey.
Right. So let's see. Am I missing any so let's go in, is Reflections a band, or are you literally like Reflections?
Reflections is a band.
Okay, so I'm just trying to
It's
get all
actually
the
funny.
bands all the way.
I forgot that I was wearing their merch currently.
Oh, okay. Okay, a Minnesota band?
Yeah.
Okay, metalcore band. Okay.
I don't know if you would say they're metalcore, but sure, we'll go with it.
So tell me why they're on your list.
So I found Reflections through YouTube, top like 10 breakdowns of 2013. And it was going over their first album, The Fantasy Effect, and I fell in love with them when I seen a guitar play through. So the band consists of Jake Wolf, who is just a phenomenal human being. He's an amazing musician, and I don't understand why more people don't know him. But then again, I'm in the metal scene, and that's why. Um, it's Jake. It used to be Charles Caldwell. Charles left. He's now the in the band Buried Alive. It's just him and his wife.
Okay.
Patrick Francis. I think Nick is still in the band. I'm not 100% sure about that.
I'm trying
I
to look
see
at
here.
the timeline here. It says Jake is still in the band, Nick is in the band, Francis is in the band, Logan is in the band, and Patrick is in the band.
Logan is not in the band anymore.
Logan, just kidding. Logan is not in the band anymore. As
I was about to say,
of
I know that Logan
as
left,
of
and I know.
yeah, I didn't scroll over. That's the problem. I didn't scroll over.
No, you're good. EDM is great, Fat Panda.
Yeah, you just missed our Skrillex conversation.
Yeah, we went down a hole. So with Reflections, I fell in love with their play style. It was very it has an atmospheric side and then it has a chaos side. You can be like in like a dreamscape kind of feel in 1 second, and then it is the most unreal guitar riffs that go from fret 1 all the way to fret 24 in a matter of 10 seconds.
Wow.
Patrick and Charles, if I'm right, they met in Berkeley. And Pat and Charlie are just whew, phenomenal guitar players. And like recently, I know Charles got a compliment from what's the guy's name from Rage Against the Machine?
Oh.
Guitar player.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
asshole, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
one
yeah.
of the. I can't remember
Yeah.
his
No, I know
name.
exactly who you're talking about.
Tom Moreland.
Tom Morello?
Yeah, him.
Okay.
He actually got a compliment from him saying that this is amazing that we are finally getting somebody else that is bringing more to what we can do with guitars. And it was like one of those compliments that he wasn't expecting to get. He didn't even know that he listened to his music kind of thing, and it was like, hold up.
Right.
This person knows who I am and is now complimenting me. He was very excited about that, and I loved it. But with the Fantasy Effect, that's when I found Reflections, and I fell in love with the play style. I kind of fell off from them because it took them it felt like to me it took them a while to release Exist. All lyrical content is based off of mental health, things like that. Which you'll understand. There's a lot of what I listen to because I deal with a lot. But in general, it helped me through a lot listening to it and going through it all, of course. But the play style was just something I hadn't heard ever, and it was fascinating. And now with Exist, it felt like Charles and Pat really sat down, and because in Fantasy Effect it felt random when they would do their solo licks kind of
Mhm.
thing. In Exist, it was like planned in place, it fit, and uh vain words coming from empty minds or some I can't vain words from empty minds is the name of the song off Exist. With that uh with that one, it's I want to say a minute in when they go in. It's like the verse, and then it like stops the verse for a second for like a small bridge.
Okay.
Listening to that is insane. It's just when I heard it, I was like, I want to be that good at guitar. I'm not
Right.
gonna be, but I want to be.
Aspirations. Yeah, yeah.
And that's where Reflections came in, and also like the same time I found Casey, as I also came back to Reflections because they like kind of disappeared for a while. They weren't really releasing anything, and I was like, okay, well, when the breakup happened that night, they had released a new song called Attica Luna. Attica Luna was talking about a breakup and things like that. That just a lot of stuff, and uh, it was their first like I want to say their first single off that album, The Color Clear. I have 5 flags of theirs uh, in my living room set up of the Color Clear album. That album means the world to me and will
Aw.
always mean the world to me. And it's funny that we sit here and we're talking about this because I'm gonna move this. This is actually the Fantasy Effect flag behind me. I've got their merch on currently.
That's great.
They're just one of those bands that have always meant just a lot. It's one of those that I don't know why, but finding them and then following them to up till now, I finally got to see them live on their first show back after the hiatus. I flew out to Minnesota last year or the year before last. I can't remember. It was like right when restrictions had started really calming down from COVID.
Mhm.
They had their first show back in 5, 6 or 7 years. It was their first show back, and I flew out to Minnesota. And another reason, there's a two guys that I met. Ty, I want to say his name's Tyler. I can't remember. Like we're friends. We're friends on Facebook and talk regularly, but I can't remember. I call him Ty. I don't remember his name was actually Ty or if it's Tyler.
Let's call him Ty.
We'll just call him Ty. But Ty and Ryan, I met them at that show. I'd never met these dudes before in my life. I was outside smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer. My hotel was down the street, so I'm like, I'm gonna see Reflections. I'm gonna have a few beers, and I'm gonna walk back to my hotel, and this is gonna be all done and over with. I'm not gonna have. I'm just gonna have a great time at the show. Reflections is the first band I have ballroom danced with 3 other people in the middle of a mosh pit. We ballroom danced around the mosh pit, just Reflections going hard. Me and Ryan are hitting each other. We're just all having a great time.
That's so awesome.
And then the next morning, I regretted it because
Yeah.
our bodies don't like that.
No, they don't. No. No, no, they don't. Well, I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had a band in which you could invest your emotions into and them to give you something positive back because that's
Oh
so
yeah,
important. And that you met new friends.
and it's crazy because Jake Wolf, the vocalist, me and him, I follow him on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I follow him because he's always because he has his own like side project called Surgeon that he's releasing a new EP on later in November, and I was like, I'm gonna follow this because I want to see how good Jake is by himself without Pat and Charles's help. And you know, Jake is phenomenal. He's an insane vocalist, an insane bass player, insane guitar player, and insane drummer. And it's like, dude, I just want you to stream on Twitch so I can just understand where how. His, and he commented back, he's like, "Oh, by the way, yeah, I just got all my live camera set up, so I'll be on Twitch soon." I was like,
Nice.
"Thank you. I'm gonna
Nice.
be there first day, first one."
That's awesome.
So,
So we're going to make a hard left.
oh
And
yeah,
we're
go
going to
ahead.
go to one of your dislikes. And I'd like to know why you would dislike sweet potatoes.
Get that stuff away from me.
Okay, so I need to know why.
Texture, taste, uh, smell. There's its existence.
So you like potatoes.
Yes, I love potatoes.
Okay.
Potatoes by themselves, I don't mind, but sweet potatoes, I cannot stand.
Do you like celery?
I don't mind celery.
Do you like okra?
Yes.
So you like stringy vegetables.
Yeah.
But you don't like stringy tubers.
No. Don't.
What about what's the other one? Spaghetti squash.
I have had it. I don't mind it. It's not like a favorite I would go back to kind of thing. But it's the smell and taste of sweet potatoes, really and truly. It's one of those foods that it'll get to like right there, and it's automatically no, like you're not doing this.
And of course, I'm only teasing you about what
Oh
your
yeah, of
dislikes
course.
are. Okay, I'm not gonna change your mind right now. I'm just totally messing with you.
It's one of those ones that my mom and my dad have like repeatedly tried to get me to like, and it's just no, I can't. It's nasty.
It's nasty. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and go to your other dislikes. Where while I'm living in Kansas City, Missouri, and explain to me, sir, how you can dislike barbecue.
I am from Middle Georgia, where my family has had barbecue shops. My family does barbecues. Actual sit there and have a pig in the roast for X amount of hours, do all these things. I do not like the seasoning. I don't like the taste. I'm not a fan of pulled pork. I don't like barbecue sauce on chicken. I don't. It's just. It's not a. For some reason, it's not a good taste to me. It's never been one of my ones to sit down and be like, you know what, I want barbecue. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean it's
I think
unfortunate.
it's the smokiness and stuff like that that comes into it also that it's just not for me. The only person I know of that is maybe done a barbecue for me that I've enjoyed would be my uncle. Instead of using like barbecue seasonings and stuff like that, he's used like steak seasonings. And it was like, okay, I can kind of deal with this, but I really don't like pulled pork. Like,
Will you eat pulled pork that is not like? Will you eat it in a stew?
in stew, I don't mind it.
Like if I got you a rump roast and it would be pulled in a stew, would you eat it?
I try my best not to because I don't know what it is with pulled pork. It's really weird for me on that. Um,
And
it's just like one of
curious.
those ones that
Go
don't.
ahead.
It's just one of those ones that don't sit well with me.
Okay. Curious Minds wants to know sweet potato fries are out too.
Yes, completely out. They're
Mm-hmm.
gone. Regular potato or no potato.
And then okay, so what about burnt ends?
Burnt.
Do you know what a burnt end is?
I do not.
Okay, so a burnt end is barbecue meat delicacy. It looks like this, and it's off of the brisket, and basically it's just the ends of the brisket.
If it's got the flavor of barbecue in it, I highly doubt it.
So you're saying it's the smoke. What about sweet? Because Kansas City has sweet barbecue, whereas everyone else has smoky barbecue. We pride ourselves
That
on very sweet barbecue.
I'd have to try it.
That's fair. And thank you for saying
Uh,
that.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I won't like it because it's hard for me to say I don't like something if I've never tried it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's one thing that my mom and dad were also very big on growing up. It's like don't say you don't like something until you've tried it.
Yep. I'm the same
And
way.
it's like yes, I can 100% agree with that, and I can get behind that. And if like at one point in my life, I'd like to go to China and go try a scorpion.
That sounds fun.
Just to say I've tried a scorpion. I'm not gonna try a tarantula. You can That's not gonna happen. But I
No.
mean,
No. No, no, no. And that's because you also dislike spiders. Get
exactly.
ready to look at a bunch of pictures of spiders. Because this is
If,
Wikipedia. You want me to scroll down?
you can if you want
There you
to.
go. I'll scroll down.
I eight-legged freaks.
Welcome, Raiders. Welcome on in, Tammy. Thank you so much for the raid. Prosthetic Lips, welcome on in. Thank you guys so much for the raid. If y'all don't know me, I'm the Rusty Panda. Welcome to the zoo. Sit back, relax, enjoy the bamboo. Welcome on in. We are doing Wiki Wednesday today. We have SICPSYCKO in the room, and we are doing our Wiki Wednesday. What that is we have a streamer do 15 things they like and 5 things they don't like, and we go down the Wikipedia rabbit hole and we explore some of the things that we want to learn on Wikipedia. So right now, no, jumping spiders are not adorable. I'm sorry, I'm with him on this one. We are not. I'm sorry, but I'm on his side. Spiders are not adorable in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so tell me why spiders are on your bad list, even though I totally agree with everything you're about to say.
So, for one, the biggest thing that made me have I won't say a phobia because I'm not deathly afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. But uh, when I was a kid, I was climbing a tree in my grandmother's backyard, and me and my cousin always climbed trees and stuff like that in her yard. She hated us for it because we were killing her tree, but I'm gonna still climb that tree.
Right.
I get up in this tree. She told us not to climb this specific tree or whatever, and we climbed it. And come to find out, the reason she told us not to climb it was because it was infested with spiders. I get up in this tree. We're doing whatever. She comes outside. She tells us to get down. She's jumping, hollering, things like that. And I got stuck on a branch or whatever. She climbs up in the tree and she gets up there. She's like, Tyler, don't move. You have about 12 spiders on you right now. And I was like, what? That was my sleep paralysis demon, was a spider. Like, for the longest time, I remember that I would wake up and I wouldn't move because I swore they were all over me. And it was like, why? Why? And that they are just, no. I've gotten better over the years with them. I'm not, I am more now a person that will, if I see one in the house, I'm not going to kill it. I will try to get it out of the house and then it's outside because I know they do a lot for the environment and things like that with pests and things like that. But before, I have grown because they would have been dead on sight. I would have blowtorched a house. I
Yeah.
don't care. They'd been gone.
Galvos
Um,
likes to keep them as pets. So we have little spider corners in our house, and he calls them his little spider friends. and they are harmless. They're the tiny little ones that just, and you can see they're little, we clean up after them, make sure that there's
Yeah.
not dust on the floor, and they just continuously pick up little stuff. They eat gnats and whatnot, right? So we clean up the gnats underneath their little stuff. No, why am I doing this? Why am I cleaning up after spiders? I have 3 cats. Why am I cleaning up after multiple spiders? Okay? This is ridiculous, Galvos. This needs to end now. Anyway.
So, and then, like, if I see the spider, I'm okay. If I can physically see where it's at, I'm like, okay, you're there. If I turn my head and look back and it is not there anymore, we have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
And the world will end.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a lot of things that came up to them. No, ain't gonna be no killing.
Yeah, I ain't
don't
gonna
know.
kill him.
If that's Galvos and that's with you, then that's you and Galvos.
No, because that's what he's saying. He's like, you can kill them if you want. No, I'm not going to kill them. Oh, then they're going to be our spider friends, I guess. That's the conversation that just happened.
But I remember when my uncle also got a pet tarantula, and his comment was, "Tyler, you gotta come see the and no, I don't care if it's in a box, nothing. I know what the hairs on its back do. They sense pressure, like, and the pressure that I'm about to bring in that room is, bitch, you're about to die." Use the language.
Yeah.
I will torch you inside that cage of yours.
Oh,
But
man.
no, like I said, with spiders, and it's weird because for 2 years I worked as an actual surveyor going in the woods and stuff like that. And of course I come across spiders all the time out in the woods. I'll look for the shine of a web in sunlight. So if I see a web and it's like, okay, don't go that way, I'm going this way.
Right. Yeah, I try to keep them as like friends that I don't want to be friends with, but like
Exactly.
it's like those people in high school that you never got to know. You know they exist, but you literally never got to know them. You don't even know their names. You just
And
know
honestly,
that
you're not worried about knowing the name.
yeah, yeah. You could just be a person. Just exist. Just do your thing, whatever, but just I don't want to know your name. Okay. So when you type Diablo, do you mean the series or do you mean like 666?
I mean the series.
Okay.
And I know you are also a fan of the Diablo.
I am very much a fan of the Diablo, so I was very excited that that's what you said and not
I grew up watching my mom and dad play it on PlayStation 1 with the
Yes.
special edition 2-player disc. And I continuously watched my mom kill my father because, friendly fire was a thing.
Right. Right.
I wasn't allowed at a young age to be able to play it because, of course, it was a mature game. I went back and played it, like, I want to say 5 years ago, the original. I was like, why didn't my mom and dad let me watch this?
Right.
But it's been a very big game in my life. I've watched from Diablo 1 all the way. I haven't played 4 yet. I didn't see me spending $60, $70 to play the game. I was like, that's just not gonna happen. I'll wait till you go on sale and spend the money.
It's never gonna go on sale.
It will. It might be 5 years.
Yeah,
but it will.
that's true. It might be 5 years, and if it goes on sale, it might be on the Switch. If it put D4 on the Switch, it'll go on sale because they put D3 on the Switch and then on D2 on the Switch, and then it went on sale, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
Immediately you get mad. It's like,
But go ahead. So you watched your parents play.
I watched my parents play. And then when I was, I want to say like 15, me and my mom did a playthrough of the first one. We couldn't get past the butcher, but I mean, it's just always been one of those games that's been a huge influence on me as a gamer of what I enjoyed to play. Um, when Diablo 2 came out, it was only, of course, for PC for the longest time. It wasn't it up until like 2 years ago is when they changed it
Uh,
to console.
yes, Galvos. I turned to Galvos for this information.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago is when they brought Diablo 2 actually to console for the first time, if I'm right. But
What information? Diablo 2, was it only recently put on console in the last 2 years?
2 to 3 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because other than that, it had always been on.
Yeah, it was just PC.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got to play Diablo 2. When I did play Diablo 2, it was for like that hour time of computer time your parents allowed you. It was like, why? Just let me play.
Be-doo, be-doom,
Just
be-doom, beep.
and I'd get on. I'd do like one mission, and it was like, all right, it's time to get off.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yep.
But playing Diablo has always been a huge thing just for me. I've always loved the storyline, even though for 3 games it was the same exact storyline over and over. Except for in 2, it was not the same in 2, if I'm right. Because Diablo 1, it was about going and killing Diablo, and Diablo 2, it was like killing Diablo, but it was Lord of Destruction. It was something different, but it was like only very slightly different.
Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction.
There was
Uh,
something different with Diablo 2 in the storyline. I
Diablo
can't remember.
3 was about the angels and demons.
It was about Diablo actually coming back.
Right. And then Diablo 4
It's about Lilith.
is about Lilith, right? I tried Diablo 1 on Windows 95. I feel old now.
I didn't play it on Windows 95, but I did have Windows 95 for the longest time. um, that was just one of those. The series has been a huge influence on me as a gamer. There's a clip somewhere of me and my mom playing Diablo 3 together, doing another playthrough of it. I can't tell you how many times I've beat Diablo 3.
Oh my god, don't even get us started. Galvos and I not only have it, we have it for the PC, we have it for the Switch, we have it for the Xbox each. And we have just destroyed it multiple times for every single season over and over again. And I don't know why. Cuz it's the same thing
Over and over
over and
again.
over, but you can rely on it.
It's gonna be there.
It's gonna be it's a comfort zone. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah, and it's for me. It was always one of those games. I had a cousin. I think he was a cousin. He might have been an uncle. I don't know. He passed away a few years back, but he um he was disabled from the waist down. He couldn't. He got in a car accident and couldn't do anything besides play video games. And what he played all day long was Diablo.
Mm.
I remember. I think it was like 3 weeks in. This dude is already Paragon level, whatever high
Right.
number. He's already playing on the hardest difficulty there is. And it's like, dude, he's like, what? I don't do anything besides play video games and smoke weed. It's like, honestly, I can't say you're wrong in here because
Right.
that's really all you've got to do.
Right. Aw. Yeah.
And it was funny because he was, how old was Donnie? Donnie was in his late 30s, early 40s when he was doing these things. Like, he was a very big gamer.
Oh wow.
And in the times that I got to play Diablo, me and Donnie played together. He's like, don't worry about anything. If you start having trouble, I'll kill it. And it's like, Donnie, just make a new character and play the game with me.
Right. Yeah. We have friends when we played Diablo 4 that we played like the first week, and some of our friends are like a million, Paragon a million, and we're like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how you got there. But then sometimes you're like, can you please make us get through this cutscene and all of these parts because we don't want to do this? But then other times we're like, we just want to play the game. We just want to
Right.
get through it ourselves. And at times we're just like, can you please just get us through this part? So it's like a mixed bag, Like you want that friend around, but at the same token, you're like, maybe I want to play the game. I don't know.
Right.
So,
But Diablo's always been that one where I can always rely on to come to and at least play through the game, and I know, hey, this is about to be just a chill time,
mm-hmm,
relax, kill some stuff, find some stuff, go and kill some stuff some more,
mm-hmm,
go back, make you a set of armor, go and kill some stuff some more.
mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those great things.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
seasonals is one of the greatest things they did for D3.
I didn't get much into the seasonal stuff. My friends did because they didn't have anything else to do, but they were also the friends that didn't want to play the storyline with me when I wanted to play it. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, that's not my thing." And then seasonals came out, and that's all they did. And it's like, you're missing the whole point of the game,
You can
the
do
story.
the story in the seasonal.
They wouldn't do it. They were just doing the challenges and then leaving
Got
it.
it. Yeah, that's no. We do the story the first time, and then once we finish the story, then we go back and do adventure mode, and then we sweep.
Oh yeah, and
That's the way we like to do it.
that would be the way that I would enjoy it as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, that's Diablo for me. And like I said, I will play Diablo 4. It will be played on my stream at some point. It might be 5 years from now, but it will happen because I'm not spending $60 on that game.
$70, sir.
Even worse.
I know, right? I had to make a point.
Like
um,
if it would have come out at like $50, I'd been like, okay, yeah, I can see that.
right. No,
But
AAA games are all now coming out at $70.
I
It's
know, and it's so terrible.
inflation.
I
It's,
will continue to play indie games
mm-hmm.
or free games on Game Pass.
Yep, Game Pass is where it's at. All right, tell me about Tokyo Ghoul.
It's kind of weird because I was wearing that shirt last night.
Oh yeah.
It is one of my favorite animes. I have not read the manga, and yes, I know that they didn't follow the manga. For anybody in chat that has watched it, I know I'm working on getting the manga. It's expensive. They have the complete set. They did not, I think last year for they re-released the full set of the mangas, but for Tokyo Ghoul A square root of A. I don't. I just call it A. And then Tokyo Ghoul Re for all three, it was going to cost me like $500 to get the full sets, and I was like, I
Wow.
can't. I just can't drop the full 500 right
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yep.
and I can't even drop 180 for the first one.
Oh my gosh.
But Tokyo Ghoul, the story of Kaneki and the growth of Kaneki in it is what grabbed me. Coming from he was just a normal high school kid. He'd go to a coffee shop. He read books. He had a best friend. To going into getting thrown in a situation, of course, like any other TV show, you get thrown into a situation and you have to figure out what you're gonna do. It the scene that got me, which I think is a lot of people that got them in the first two seasons of Tokyo Ghoul, was the scene with Jason, which is another ghoul in the series. And it's where Jason is torturing Kaneki, the main character, and he's having a issue of if he's in consciousness or not. In my opinion, that's the way I seen it. Was that he was in and out of consciousness from the torture, and it just him choosing his life and actually making sure that he did what he needed to do to live and protect the others around him. Just making that choice is what grabbed me. It was like, okay, this is good. This is getting really good. But unfortunately, everybody else doesn't like the anime, which supposedly they're going to revamp it and have somebody else do the follow more along the manga, which is supposed to be extremely better because the manga's, and this is coming from somebody that's never read the manga, don't know about the manga, but they say that in the manga they went in more detail of Kaneki and Oteko and other parts of the story, whatever, that the manga goes more in detail, which of course any book will go in more detail.
Right.
But supposedly in the adaptation they left a lot out of it that you need to know to understand a little bit more what was going on. And if anybody wants to watch Tokyo Ghoul, you have to watch all 3 seasons. Yes, season 3 beginning will throw you off. It threw me off when I watched it. But you have to watch season 3 and it will explain it in like the first 2 episodes of what's going on.
So you have to watch season 3 first?
No, you watch season 1 through 3, but everybody stops
After 2?
after 2 because they say season 3 doesn't make sense. Season 3 is the Tokyo Ghoul re pickup in the manga, and a lot of people get confused in that first episode. But I will tell you, it is worth it. Kaneki is a badass.
uh,
It's funny because I am looking at my 2 like desk mats right now that are both Tokyo Ghoul.
yeah, these are volumes, 14 volumes. This is crazy.
It is a wonderful series, and it's like I watched anime when I was younger. It was Dragon Ball Z and uh JoJo's and stuff like that. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z because that was I have a connection with it due to the fact of that's what I would get run off the school bus to go get into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, it's 3 o'clock. We got to hurry up, get down to the house, turn the TV on, get to this channel for Cartoon Network because the new episode of Dragon Ball Z is about to air.
Right.
Like that was the goal every day. My best friend lived across the street. He was doing the same thing. It's like, look, you've got to run up your half-mile driveway so we can watch, and then I'm gonna call you on the house phone and find out what you think.
Right, right. Oh, that's
Like,
special. I love
like that.
that.
But other than that, I don't like the way Dragon Ball Z was structured because in Dragon Ball Z, a one fight took three
Oh
months
my
to get
god.
through.
It was so long.
It's like I just want to know what happens in this fight.
It
You
was
keep
so.
stopping it like in 15 minutes. You've had 18 commercial breaks through this.
Oh my god, I know.
And then I kind of left anime after that. I watched stuff like I really don't remember what I watched. I can't remember honestly. Holy cow.
It's fine.
I went more towards the music side, really and truly. Because after that, I mean, I was watching MTV, Fuse, VH1.
Yeah.
Oh man, all the good channels at the time.
All right.
Spike.
Yeah.
I gotta watch Spike because it had the Thousand Ways to Die.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good one.
But I started watching like real stuff instead of cartoons for the most part because they had changed a lot on Cartoon Network of like show times of when things would show, and Nickelodeon at the time was not great. It had like iCarly and SpongeBob, and for some reason I never understood it. I don't know why DirecTV and Dish do it, but with DirecTV and Dish, they have 2 channels for Cartoon Network and 2 channels for Nickelodeon. One is the Eastern,
East and West.
and the other one was the West. And it's like, why did you give me both?
Right. If I'm on
Like,
the east, then give me the east channel. If I'm in the
yeah.
west, then give me... I don't know.
Don't give me these like completely opposite things. Which when I got older, I didn't mind it because it's like, what time is it? Oh, it is
It'll
one
be
a.m. Going to the West Coast side
right,
and watching the
right,
channels.
right.
But with anime, Tokyo, I started watching Attack on Titan, and the only thing that was left on Attack on Titan on, because I'd heard a lot about it before it had the anime had released, and it was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I watched it the first season on Netflix, and I couldn't stop watching. It was so good. The just the thought process behind it and everything like that of, there's this city on this island that's got walls around it that's being protected of these giant monsters on the outside and all this other stuff. And then like you get a little bit further in the anime and it's like, hold on, something's weird with all this. Like what's actually going on? And now I'm waiting on part 3 of or part 4 of the final season or whatever part we're on now because the author is an asshole. And he knows he's doing it on purpose and he has admitted he's doing it on purpose.
Yep. November 5th, 2023.
That's what they say. Watch, they're gonna push it back again on me. They do it all the time. But no, the where we're at now in the series, it's like what? Because we were watching before the final season started. We were all trying to figure out what was actually going to happen, and I knew one theory that was said, and I was like, that'd be really cool if that was the case. The person ended up being right.
Oh, nice.
And the thing that, and I give the author of Attack on Titan very much credit on this because he is purposely not releasing certain episodes until the manga has released. That way there's no spoiler of what's going to happen.
Got it. Okay.
He that is
Kind
it's
of like
so hard to do.
what was that? The Walking Dead. What was that?
Was
Walking
it The
Dead.
Walking Dead?
Yeah, where they had the the not the cartoon, the magazine or whatever it was, and then
The
they
comic?
comic, and then they had
Yeah.
this TV show, and then weren't they both going at the same time at one point?
See, I didn't know The Walking Dead had a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen something about it. I didn't know that's what it was actually based off of.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a person that got sucked into The Walking Dead.
Yeah, neither was I. I'm hoping that my information is correct. I could be
I
completely wrong, but I'm
We
really
could both
hoping
be completely
yeah, I
wrong.
was just really hoping my information was correct. Okay, look,
um.
we have 12 minutes. So I
Oh
want
no.
to make sure that we get in a few more things.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're going to do pretty sure you're right. Yes. Okay. So we're going to do barbershop because is that a band or you really like barbershops?
I just really like barbershops.
Yes, okay. Let me talk
That
about them.
is barbershops are my comfort place. I enjoy going to get, as you see, like I have a huge beard and it's fucking mangly and terrible right now because my appointment's next week. But um barbershops, I don't know what it is about it. I go in, like most barbershops you go to nowadays, they have a fridge that has alcohol or a soda or water or something in it. You go in, you sit down, you relax. The girl I go see, she's absolutely phenomenal. She knows that the way I get my hair cut, everything like that, she does it perfect every time. And all I got to do is I walk in. She's like, "Hey, Tyler." I was like, "Hey, how are you?" We have our little small conversation for a second, and I can pretty much go to sleep, and she'll just get my hair cut. I go back. It's just the most relaxing, calming experience to have after a month of absolute hell at work.
Right.
It's that moment I'll text my mom, "Hey," appointment today, and that's what I leave it at. And she's like, okay, don't call him. That is my time away from the world.
Yeah.
And it's calming, it's just nice. It's always a great environment to be in. And that's I love a barbershop to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the hairdresser tomorrow and I really need it. So I'm excited to get my hair done tomorrow. But yeah, it's we don't get the, the wine and the all that special
Could you
treatment,
imagine the amount of money they would get make if they were to do it?
right? Like,
Like, holy cow, the amount of money that people would make if they would just serve alcohol when they're doing this stuff.
right? Like all the barber shops seem to have scotch bars or whiskey bars or all that stuff. Like they have a full-on bar in their barber shop.
Yeah, and I know part of that reason is because of a liquor license. It's expensive to get one, and that's the reason why some people don't.
Mhm.
Because if I'm right, wine is classified under the liquor license part. It's not anything else. But like the barbershop I go to, they have like 4 beers you can choose from in the little mini fridge
Mhm.
they have that doesn't even really keep them cold.
Right.
And it's just like, I'm gonna have a Coke because I don't want to have a beer while I'm here.
Right.
But it's still one of those things. Like if you would do these things at salons for everybody, just in general, whether your clients are female based, male based, whatever based, the amount of money you could make if
Mhm.
somebody's had a long day.
Yep.
And of course, just put a limit. Like, look, you're only allowed one.
Yep.
You can come in, get your hair done, have one glass of wine, be good.
Yep.
Come in, relax, and enjoy.
Yep. I think we have a niche right now. I think we should go out, copyright it, and make some money.
I think we should do it.
Okay.
We will make money, and we like it. This will be
This is
perfect.
the nobody has this idea. This is completely a genuine idea that nobody has ever thought of before.
Never ever.
All right, so the last one I wanted to talk about and give you the most time for is Hope for the Day because I know how important that is for you. Boop. So, Hope for the Day. Let's talk about it.
Ooh. So I found Hope for the Day in 2013 or 14 at a Mayhem Fest with Slipknot and a lot of like other bands that I listened to at the time. There was a whole list of them. Hope for the Day had a tent up, and their tent was it had the Hope for Day symbol on like on the top of it, but the actual brim around the tent was it's okay not to be okay. And that caught my eye. And I was like, huh? What is this about? And I go over and I go, look and see what it's all about. And they tell me their mission, their what they're doing, all these things. And it's like, dude, that's really cool. And I wasn't in the best headspace of this show at first. Um, we go in, I'm talking to these folks. Dude sat there and he's telling me all about what they do and how they do it. And I was like, okay, that's really cool. And he's like, you're talking and everything. He's like, you don't seem like you're okay. Do you need to have somebody to talk to? I was like, nah, man, you're good. You're doing stuff. He's like, no, like seriously, if you need somebody to talk to, stop right now and come on, let's talk. And we go and sit inside the tent and we talk for 15, 20 minutes. I'm telling him, I'm having a hard time with this death and stuff like that. And he just sits there and listens. He's like, dude, I can understand where you're coming from. Death is a hard thing to go through. And I was like, yeah, and like it was really weird for me because it was like this is some stranger at some tent that I've never met. I don't know who you are, anything like that. And I was like, okay, so Hope for the Day. I'll remember this. And he gave me a bracelet and a pamphlet and stuff like that. Like, if you ever need help, here's phone numbers you can call. Here's websites you can go to. Don't. It's okay, dude. And went on about my business. And I followed them for a while after that, keeping up with what they were doing and how they they raise money to bring mental health workshops into schools. And these workshops, they help kids learn how to understand their problems, how to work with their problems, get help for those problems, find reasonable resources and money manageable resources to, poor families, stuff like that, to help get help. And it was a huge statement on that for a lot of things. And it was like, oh, dude, this is awesome. And, keeping up with it, keeping up with it. Well, comes the time in 2018 when I'm going to see Casey. Casey got help from Hope for the Day to be brought over because the president of Hope for the Day loved the band, loved the message they were sending. And, everything about Casey they loved. And before Casey came on, the president actually got on stage and was like, hey everybody, this is who we are, Hope for the Day. And we just got word that Casey will actually be donating 75% of the funds of
Wow.
this show to us.
Wow.
And we can't tell y'all how much this means to us, what y'all are doing. And, we are all here together. And if any of y'all need anybody to talk to, I'm in the back of the show, back room. Come get me. Come talk to me. Come tell me who you are and things like that. And it was huge. And I got to talk to him. Very down to earth dude. I don't remember. I wish I could remember his name, but I don't. Yeah, I am terrible with names. I've got to be on a day to day basis with you. But it was a organization that I could just get behind, and they'd help me through a few things. And when it came down to it, back in March, I did a 24-hour stream. It was for my birthday. I was like, I had how many followers at the time? I think maybe 45, 50 followers. Like I was right there for affiliate. I was like, I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream. I'm gonna do, and I got with my buddy Serge, uh, Serge, Vlad, Lily the Pariah, Strawberry Witch, and a few other friends that I have that I know in real life, and we're all streamers. Uh, Serge will be making a comeback. I don't know about the others, but we all got together and I got with Serge and them and I was like, look, I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream for my birthday. They're like, okay, that's cool. How do you want to do it? And I was like, I just want to do a 24-hour stream and I'm gonna do it for charity. They're like, oh, okay. So how much are you gonna do the charity for? I said, I'm gonna set it for $1,000. They're like, dude, you need to be a little bit more realistic in this. You don't have a following like that to do a big goal. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna shoot for the moon. I said, that's how much this means to me
Right.
to be able to do this for other people. That's how much this means. I'm gonna do it. And like, okay, shoot big. So we did the 24-hour stream, and in the first day, we had raised, I think it was $270. Even for a channel that was as small as we are, as small as I am, I should say, because in my mind it's we because it's not me, it's my community,
Right. Right.
it's us as a whole. And we did that, and then in May we did a 12-hour stream for Mental Health Awareness Month, which there's two in a year, so it confused the hell out of me last month. But we did a 12-hour stream. Then we raised, I think we got another $100 up, and I was like, yeah, we're killing it. Like, I just want to see this completed by the end of the year. This is what I want. I just want to see it completed by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that was the goal for me, was just to get it done by the end of the year. Well, if I'm right, Inky, correct me if I'm wrong. It was 2 weeks ago. We did another 12-hour stream for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month and mental health awareness period in general. Um, we did another 12-hour stream on Saturday, and we had a few donations like that weren't, of course, during a charity stream or anything like that. And one of my friends, Reds, he's become very near and dear to my heart. Love him to death. And he donated $100 one time. A cousin of mine sat there and wanted to know more about it one day and know about the organization. We talked about it. They had donated 170 something dollars.
Hmm.
And it was like, I not we raised the $1,000. We raised over $1,000 for them
That's great.
on this past 12-hour stream, and that there's a clip on my channel that is featured. I seen Inky had clipped it, and I was like, I didn't know it was clipped right then and there because I was still in awe that we did it. It was one of those things of like, holy cow!
Yeah, shoot for the moon.
Shot for the moon and hit it and went over it.
Yeah.
That after we hit it, some friends came in and donated more, and uh, like Feifu Tries came in and donated. A friend of mine, Newbie, came in and donated. It was all insane. Like,
Yeah, people care. They care about you. They care about the work that you're doing, and they care about the charity itself, of course.
yeah.
$1,120 raised. That's great. Good for you guys.
And that hope for the day is, as I always tell everybody else when I'm talking about them, think about it as how much would it have meant to us to have those workshops while we were in school to learn how to deal with what we were going through mentally in general. I If I would have had somebody be able to sit down and actually talk to me and tell me like, "Hey, you're dealing with these, and here's a healthier way to deal with these. Here's somebody to talk to. Here's somebody to work with." I probably wouldn't have done all the unhealthy things that I did
Right.
to what I did, and it was like, yeah, that would have made more sense to have. Let me let us give what we can to make that happen for others.
Well, I think that's just absolutely beautiful and a perfect way to end this. Six Psycho, I am so happy that you've been on here. I think I've learned so much from you, and I honestly feel in my heart that you are just the most genuinely wonderful person, and just so happy to know you. You are caring and very deserving of all the love that you receive, and I hope you know that. So,
Thank you. And I am so happy that I was able to be here and be a part of this. And again, if you ever want to do it ever again, I am down. I enjoy talking about random things, and I can't believe half of this was actually all the random knowledge that I do have.
you did great. You did perfect.
Woo!
So usually I rate out, but today I don't want to deal with it.
I
Um,
completely understand.
So we're gonna go ahead and end stream. But again, I want to thank everyone who came along, all the people, the lurkers, the people who interacted. Thank you guys again. And we're gonna go ahead and end it here. But thank you guys for coming to the zoo, and we'll see you later. Bye.